Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to establish agro-processing zones across the country in 2020.
Federal High Court in Abuja orders forfeiture of Abdurrashid Mainan's properties.
Federal government to domesticate car manufacturing in Nigeria.
Thanks a lot for staying tuned in. We have the details now. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Sochi, Russia, ahead of the Russia-Africa Summit beginning today.
The summit, which is expected to last 3 days, will focus on exploring and expanding opportunities in security, trade and investment, science and technology, as well as gas production. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Nigerian Air Force 001 aircraft conveying President Muhammadu Buhari and his entourage arrived Sochi International Airport at 12:30 Tuesday morning local time. The president, accompanied by the governors of Ekiti, Gombe and Zamfara states, was received by a high-powered Russian government delegation led by the mayor of the city of Sochi as well as the Nigerian ambassador to Russia. Also at the airport were the Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Security Advisor, and other senior government officials. At the Russia-Africa Summit, President Buhari will join other African and Russian leaders to bring fresh perspectives on some global issues and challenges like nuclear technology, energy development, digital transformation, environment, technical security, mining and steel, education, agriculture, infrastructure, and development strategies.
More than 30 heads of state and prime ministers have pledged their commitment to be here. President Muhammadu Buhari is part of those leaders that have accepted to be here. So it's an important one for our continent. It is important for Russia. At the end of this summit, it is hoped that Nigeria and African countries would put together for themselves a new security architecture for the continent that should hopefully, take from the Russian experience in protecting cities against terrorism, in protecting our borders against infiltration by criminals, inflow of weapons, of drugs, smuggling, and illegal explosives. So security is important. We obviously would expect developments in trade and investment, which lies at the heart of the meeting itself. And such matters that may also impinge on culture, identity and sovereignty of nations on the continent.
President Buhari is scheduled to meet with President Vladimir Putin of Russia to further strengthen relations in security, trade and investment, as well as building partnership that will enhance Nigeria's huge gas potentials.
Nigerians will not forget Russia's support for the unification of Nigeria, the support they gave to Nigeria during the civil war years, at a time when some of our traditional friends had deserted us. Russia is still doing so much for us, dealing with the procurement of military hardware, in tackling the insurgency, particularly in the northeast. It is important that President Buhari is here at a time when the effort is being made to push out permanently the insurgency in the northeast and infiltration by Islam in West Africa groups. So I believe that a lot will be discussed on matters of military procurement. The Russians have achieved perhaps the greatest success anybody could using the gas resources available to their own country. Nigeria would be talking to Russians on on possibilities in enhancing and utilizing our enormous gas resources. There will be discussion on power, iron and steel. Don't forget Ajaokuta. So all of these things are important in the view of the president, and they will be put on the table.
An African business forum which will bring together African and Russian business leaders will also be held towards enhancing Russian investments in Africa and promoting African business interests in the Russian Federation. From Sochi, Russia, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And back home, Nigeria's enabling business environment continues to improve as the nation's ministries, departments and agencies comply with the Ease of Doing Business Executive Order 001 of 2017.
State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo received the 2019 compliance report on the executive order.
The Enabling Business Environment Secretariat, the operational team of PEBEC, monitoring how well ministries, departments and agencies are complying with the Executive Order 01, presented its second report to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the Council's meeting.
Updating ourselves on all of these the progress that we're making with respect to the ease of doing business. So thank you very much and congratulations everyone.
On efficiency compliance ranking, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission came first with 96.33%. On transparency assessment ranking, the Federal Inland Revenue Service scored 100%. While on cumulative compliance, the Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority came first with 88.37%.
Just hope that this report makes it such that you have more commitment from ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government. The idea is to have access to information, transparency. We also have our report gov. So we have there some testimonials and some good news of people that have complimented some of the work of the MDAs also. So it's an informative document. It's quite interesting, and I think everybody should take a look.
The impact of the compliance to this order is the nation moving up and sits at 146th position out of 190 economies in the 2019 World Bank Ease of Doing Business ranking, but still with the determination to move up to the 70th position by 2023. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is to establish agro-processing zones across the country in 2020.
State for the ministry, Mariam Katagum, stated this while defending the ministry's 2020 budget before the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo will tell us more.
The 2020 budget defense at the National Assembly is now in full swing. The number of entrants and budget scrutiny sessions tell the story better. As early as 10 o'clock Tuesday morning, the management of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment had appeared before the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment to provide justification for 12.1 billion naira proposal for 2020 fiscal year.
Another initiative is the full activation of the private sector-led 6 special economic zones that are to be located in Lekki, Eimba, Funtua, Ibom, Kano and Benue.
To strengthen your ministry and agencies, we call upon you to bring up the existing laws that need amendment for further action.
In one of the committee rooms where the management of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NFIU, Modibo Haman Tukur, explained to the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes that the intelligence agency is to spend 3.5 billion naira on the construction of the ongoing office headquarters of the Commission. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi had defended the budget of the maritime sector before the Joint National Assembly Committee on Maritime Transportation and House of Representatives on Ports and Harbour.
The ministry is proposing a total capital budget of 748,296,254 naira.
For the Senate Committee on Power, it was time to wrap up its 2020 budget scrutiny with the Minister of Power, Saleh Maman, reeling out some of the proposed projects in the 2020 budget.
Kasina Windfall, Kashimbula Hydro Project. The project is expected to be completed before the end of this year. Zungiru Project, Mambila Project.
Senate Committee on Capital Markets interacted with the Acting Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission, Mary Udok, where the committee advised her to revive Nigeria's commodity exchanges and introduce new products into the market.
The issue of unclaimed dividend must be thoroughly dealt with by SEC and CSCS for investors' confidence and growth of the capital market.
Meanwhile, the Niger State Caucus in the National Assembly briefed National Assembly correspondents, during which they urged federal government to intervene in what it described as the deplorable condition of major roads in Niger State.
And what we are asking for is a state of emergency to be declared on 3 roads in the first instance. Of course, it will be our wish that all the 33 roads will be fixed.
The Niger State legislators solicited a special intervention fund for 3 roads, Mina Suleja, Jeba Kaduna, and Bida Lambata roads, from the National Assembly. Ignatius Unko, NTA News.
And still on the legislature, the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, says establishment of a national air carrier and an aviation university are among plans of the ministry under its public-private partnership for 2020.
Hadi Sirika stated this while addressing the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation during the Ministry's Budget Defense. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
With a proposal of more than 41 billion, the Minister of Aviation says the amounts, when released, will be used to sustain infrastructure renewal and upgrade of necessary aviation equipment for safety and security, including other projects to be undertaken under the public-private partnership.
We have also approached the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning to provide viability gap funding for the establishment of the national carrier.
The Civil Aviation Act forwarded to the National Assembly by the President, both sides agreed would improve activities in aviation. Also at the House for Budget Defense was the Minister of Science and Technology, during which he highlighted the ministry's budget performance for 2019 and projections for 2020.
We have the Nigerian solution. We have been able to come up with something that is distinct, completely Nigerian. You need to read the Science, Technology and Innovation Roadmap. That roadmap that is 2017 to 2030 has given assignment to all ministries, departments and agencies.
We as a committee, together with the minister and the ministry, have to find a way of making all the science and technology institutions in Nigeria effective.
The minister commended the National Assembly for working in tandem with the ministry in efforts to put Nigeria on the world map as an emerging nation on new innovations in science and technology. When the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Akindari, appeared before the House Committee on Youth Development, he informed the committee that more than 70% of appropriations to the ministry goes to the NYSC scheme, stressing that the ministry has not deviated from its core mandate of national unity and sustainable development.
The 2020 budget proposal emphasizes investment in our citizens, particularly the youth, in order to achieve the growth aspiration of government and the goal to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty.
At the National Assembly, we will back up the ministry whenever and whatever and however they want to make sure that Nigerian youth get the best out of the system and out of the polity.
Meanwhile, House Committee on Public Procurement at a budget defense section of public procurement says as stakeholders, efforts should be geared towards implementing reforms of the present administration to curb corrupt practices in procurement procedure.
Also, the committee will intensify its oversight function with a view to strengthen the Bureau for greater productivity.
The Bureau, through its prior review of contracts in the year 2018, saved more than 26.86 billion naira for the federal government.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still, the National Representatives Committee on Information and Culture have recommitted themselves to collaborating more towards effective information dissemination in the country.
Now, this was at an interactive session between the House Committee members, Minister of Information and Culture, and heads of agencies under the ministry. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
The minister and his team were received by the chairman of the committee, Olusegun Odebunmi, who in his remarks said information management is critical to national cohesion and development.
Honorable colleagues, invited guests.
In this regard, the chairman promised effective oversight to ensure Nigerians get the best from the ministry and its agencies.
This committee will oversight all agencies under its jurisdiction without any other witch hunting. The approach will also be a police patrol method, preventive in nature and not fire alarm, that is detective.
That remarks obviously pleased the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who said the familiarization meeting will go a long way in helping the committee to understand the challenges of the ministry and help fast-track solutions to enhance productivity.
The committee is actually meant to facilitate and help the ministry. That is the purpose of the committee. Even when the committee comes to do oversight, they are not coming there with the purpose of punishing anybody. They are coming there with the purpose of listening to our complaints, and where we are not doing too well, let us know. Where we are doing well, they encourage us.
The Information and Culture Ministry and its agencies are scheduled to defend their 2020 budgetary proposal at the National Assembly Wednesday, 23rd October 2019. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA, reaching you live from Abuja, where we have the first break now. More reports ahead, including
Federal High Court sitting in Abuja orders for feature of Abdurrashid Cleaner's property. Federal government to domesticate car manufacturing in Nigeria. Stay with us.
Thanks a lot for staying tuned in to the news. Now, cordiality between the executive and the 9th National Assembly, if sustained, could redefine Nigeria's democratic practices and principles in the overall interest and development of the country.
Conference of Civil Society of Nigeria says already this gesture is stimulating them to key into the Nigerian project as a torchbearer of the society. Let's hear from Saliu Abdullahi.
Political observers believe that from inception of the current administration, activities by the executive and the legislative arms of government are indicative of the change most Nigerians desired to see. Reviving Nigeria's budget cycle back to January to December regime and the commitment shown by the lawmakers so far to ensure its speedy implementation is a clear demonstration to that. Sustaining this synergy is what prompted the conference to develop a strategy for budget tracking, consistency project implementation, and promote robust relationship between the public and the lawmakers.
We have the duty to furnish the National Assembly with very critical profile and information that we have that will seek to dent the integrity that the National Assembly has or is trying to build very recently. We will be submitting reports to the Office of the Speaker relating to any verifications or findings that we make as an organization.
Nigerian civil society, with membership across rural and urban communities, described the 9th National Assembly as a promising arm of government. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And talking business now, federal government opens talks with the United Kingdom over the possibility of raising bonds to help finance the national budget, which has been approved by the World Bank. Let's get details of this and more on Business News with Abdulkarim Zurmi.
Nigeria's request for a $3 billion loan for the expansion of power transmission and distribution networks in the country have been approved by the World Bank, according to Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. This is an outcome of Nigeria's participation at the annual meetings of the World Bank International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C. The minister said a working group is being set up as the central bank would lead further discussions on the issuance. Funds to be raised from this will be used to support infrastructure financing as captured in the annual budget. And now let's head to the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. With business news, Abdul Karim Zurmi.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been commended for his decision to close the Nigerian border, which analysts says will promote the consumption of made-in-Nigerian goods, create more jobs for Nigerian graduates and promote more confidence in local markets. Guest on NTA's News 24 Current Affairs program, Nigeria Today, was speaking, encouraged Nigerians to toil in the path of a change agenda of the present administration.
Like what I'm wearing now, I can say it's from 2017. I've made this night, and it has been really good on me.
There is a tacit policy to say that every rice consumed within the government circle must be local rice. At the festive period, all state governments that are always, giving out rice to the staff and all of that should patronize.
The guest, while advising local manufacturers to improve in packaging these locally made goods, called for institutional enforcement by the National Assembly and MDAs to patronize made-in-Nigeria products.
Instruments created by the Central Bank of Nigeria is really commendable. And those are steps that shows a government that really wants to look inwards. The starting point for me would have been to redesign our trade policy, so that we have an inward-looking trade policy that is not import-dependent, but export-oriented. Now,
Nigeria Today is weekdays at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24.
In other news, the Buhari Media Organization has advised the Academic Staff Union of Universities to avoid any action that could truncate smooth academic exercise nationwide, just to protest President Muhammadu Buhari's insistence on full implementation of the integrated payroll and personnel information system. The group said ASU should not allow itself to be seen as saboteurs of a scheme that is bound to weed out ghost workers and improve the efficiency of payroll administration in public universities. In a statement signed by its chairman, Niyi Akinshiju, and Secretary Cassidy Madueke, BMO said ASU's plan for a showdown over IPPIS could easily be interpreted as corruption fighting back. BMO further accused ASU of mobilizing its members for a strike, even when records shows that the federal government had agreed to take the peculiarities of the university system into consideration. The Buhari group urged ASU to avoid a situation where it would be seen as a group that is averse to accountability in the university system, especially as the country stands a chance of saving more money once workers in public universities are captured in the cost-saving scam.
Now, Nigerians may soon be boasting of finally being citizens of a country that manufactures cars from the scratch to finish. This is because there are now ongoing efforts by the federal government through National Automotive Design and Development Council to domesticate manufacturing in Nigeria.
Joseph Johnson reports that already the council has launched an automotive design challenge to explore the innovative talents of Nigerians.
It is an established fact that for any nation to move forward, it has to grow its innovative talents. In many countries around the world, the automotive industry plays a strategic role in economic development, and Nigeria is catching in on this. This time a notch higher towards domesticating automobile manufacturing. This man, a renowned global car designer, Jelani Aliyu, is the Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council, and is bringing his expertise in the automobile industry home. Despite his credentials in the field, he is giving opportunity to Nigerians between the ages of 18 to 40 to come up with a design of Nigerian applicable mini taxi and tractor with the launch of the challenge in Abuja.
There will be winners from each geopolitical zone which will be given prizes, and then from all those winners from the geopolitical zones we'll get the first, second and third national winners. We'll bring them close, we'll bring them to NADDC and make them part of our team.
Nigeria is said to spend more than $8 billion annually in purchasing automobile, but many here say that will soon change.
The federal government will support your efforts through provision of necessary legal framework and desired support.
By next year, people who have genuine means of livelihood can own made in Nigerian vehicles, pay 10% at 8% interest rate, and pay over a period of 15 years.
But to roll the expected ideas on wheels, experts note that the auto policy need to be fully implemented. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We have more reports.
You can watch us
Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPad, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello, it's a warm welcome to Sports Ray, reaching you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Gift George.
to Visual Impressions on NTA. Today, who have had all the experience one can ever think of in the art world and also at home. Yes, I said at home because both women are grandmothers who are still relevant in the creative sector. I am Umar Mohammed. First, we are going to start with the president of the Female Artists Association of Nigeria, Mrs. Chinzo Ojobo, and find out how she plans to shape the world in favor of every artist you can ever think of in Nigeria, especially the girl child. She graduated from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, in 1985. She studied fine and applied arts. Due to low level of art activities and high demand for paintings, she decided to open an art hub where art lovers of all ages can go and view art, purchase art, and also have exhibitions. Culture Code Art Hub is a vision that Chinze has nurtured since when she was an undergraduate.
I am overwhelmed today because when Chinze joined the Female Artists Association of Nigeria, I had already known her because National Council for Art and Culture collected her works, the polo players. So I've known her before I met her. So it's not today she has been a consistent artist. As long as she is the president, anything that is associated with her is associated with Female Artists Association of Nigeria. So we appreciate her and we appreciate you for coming to support us.
What we do with our artwork is to respond to our society, to make statements about the happenings in our society. So every artist has a particular thing that motivates him. Some have concentrate on terrorism, others concentrate on women issue, others concentrate on medical issue. But personally, what motivates me is my environment generally. I try to react like a newspaper to happenings in my environment. So we follow news, we follow documentary, we follow interviews. From there, we form our team and we make our works.
I saw artworks of Madame Chinze before, but never in such a concentration. And I'm surprised because, it's nice, but not just nice in sense you might say about artworks in general. But I think she also gave one of direction of contemporary Nigerian art is definitely in Abuja, but I guess from what I saw even in that she's already a living legend, that she will be one day followed by other artists and they will focus on what she started and build up new style.
This is actually, I'm doing a formal opening of this place. It's called Culture Code. It's an art gallery. And it's also a training center. This aspect of it is a training part of it. And also we have a library. So basically this place is for artists to show their works, and that's it. There's a lot of work, a lot of investment, and these artworks are all, but over a long period of time. It's like a collection of my works. I still have some in the house though. But I didn't want to overload the place. Female artists, we have a lot of challenges. First of all, funds, we need money, we need funding, we need people buying our works, we need people giving us opportunities to exhibit, especially on international level and all that. So the artist needs, money, the female artist. And, when we get married, you have to take care of children and all that. That's still part of it.
Chinze had one thing on her mind when opening Culture Code at Hub, the girl child. She has the intention to inspire female artists to conquer the art scene in Nigeria and globally. Worried that not too much has been done to improve female participation in art, she said the hub will act as a breeding ground for the girl child artists in the country. The hub will also serve as a running clinic for artists and shall also partner with the government and other galleries, even from outside Nigeria.
Well, it would be nice, for instance, to have a building for a national art gallery in Abuja or anywhere and support this kind of like cultural spaces, which also can